to create a diverging bar chart. It's going to be similar to the stacked bar chart, but we're going to do a few things to kind of make it line up the way that we want. So the first thing that we need to do is we actually need to create two buffer columns. So this is the same data that I was using for that 100% stacked bar chart, but I'm going to add a column here, and I do not need it to be that large, and it's literally just going to be named buffer. And what this is going to do is it's going to shift the bars to line up at whatever point we have decided that we want them to line up on, that we want it to center on. And so the point that I would like it to center on is that agree-disagree split. So I want my strongly agree and my agree columns, so these two, to be to the left of that split. And then the disagree and strongly disagree columns to be to the right of the split. And so with these buffer columns, what you want to do is you want to have the buffer columns be the remainder of 100% minus the sum of these, or however you're choosing to do yours. And so we can actually do this pretty easily with a formula. So I'm doing 100% minus the sum of these two cells, and it's 81. It's warning me right here that, hey, you've got data that you're not using, just to let you know. You can ignore it. We know. Thank you very much. And then we can use that autofill to fill it in here. And then we're going to do the same thing over here because we want this buffer to be 100% minus the sum of the columns to the right of that split point. So we're going to do this and pull it down again. So now we're ready to actually create that diverging bar chart. So we're going to highlight all of our data, so including those two buffer columns. Come over here to Insert, to our bar or column charts, more column charts. Only this time, rather than having these vertical bars, I'd like horizontal bars. So I'm choosing this option over here, bar rather than column, and I want the 100% stacked bar, so that's what you can see. And then I don't want this one, so I don't want buffer or strongly disagree to be these columns. I want this one to be my chart of choice. Click OK. And here is our chart. Make this a little bit bigger. And, we're going to tidy it up a little bit first. So we're going to get rid of this because it doesn't make much sense. And we're going to get rid of our grid lines because they're bothersome. And make a better title. Since I think we said they were Martians last time, so we'll keep that theme. But now we don't actually need these buffer columns. They were only included to scoot things where we wanted them to be scooted. So if we click this one, so this is our first buffer column, come up here to Format, and then we're going to change the fill and potentially the outline if we need to. So we're going to have a white fill, and we'll just make sure that it's a white outline, which basically means that they disappear. We're going to select this other buffer column and do the same thing. And then, since our legend is, trying to make us use these, we are actually going to just get rid of our legend. So that way we don't have that distracting 2 buffer columns. But what we can do instead is come up here to insert, and we're going to come over here to text, and we're going to insert a text box. And I would like it to be right here. Strongly agree. And we're going to have to kind of mess with this a little bit. There we go. But you can kind of strongly agree, disagree, strongly disagree. But the other thing, I'm not going to add all those and make you watch me. But the other thing that we are going to want to add is a vertical line. So this is why it's called a diverging bar chart. So remember that I said that I wanted all of my agrees over to the left and my disagrees to the right. And what we can see is it actually perfectly aligns along that agree-disagree split. And that's why we added those buffers, is to shift them. So what we're going to do, one last thing, is come back over here to insert, and we're going to insert an illustration, and specifically a shape, and we just want a line, just a straight up and down line. And we're going to provide that line for our readers. And we do not want it to be, we want it to be black, please. And nope, not shape effects. And there it is, the weight. I'd like it to be a little bit thicker just so we can see it. So just kind of saying, hey, here's where it's diverging, and then maybe in your text of a manuscript or something, you could say, to the left of the line is XYZ, and to the right of the line is, whatever other options there are. But you would also continue making your text boxes as well, or your data labels, up to you.